What makes a baddie in Drive Who a character study? Intro music fades out, and the topic of the day is announced. Welcome back to Artificial Radio, folks. Today, we are diving into the complex and often underrated world of antagonists in science fiction, specifically the beloved Doctor Who makes a baddie in Whoville. And what do they reveal about the nature of good and evil? Let's take a closer look. The River Song theme song echoes through the recording studio for a moment before the host launches into their monologue. For a show that thrives on the Doctor's moral code of do no harm, it's surprising just how nuanced the villains can be. At their core, many of the most iconic baddies think the Master, the Daleks, or the Weeping Angels are reflections of our own darker impulses, examining the consequences of actions driven by desperation, fear, or, in some cases, the outright rejection of compassion. A brief pause as the host collects their thoughts. Take, for example, the Master's transformation from a would-be companion in his own right, the renegade Time Lord who questions the very fabric of the universe, to a Machiavellian foe. His descent into madness and paranoia stems, in part, from the impossible choices that come with the Time Lord's powers and their reckless pursuit of knowledge at any cost. Another pause as the host explores the nature of opposing forces in Doctor Who. The Time Lords, long considered some of the most powerful beings in the universe, are shown time and again to be flawed, made inhuman decisions founded on bureaucratic policies and stale bureaucratic thinking. The message is clear in Doctor Who. The dividing line between hero and villain is often perilously thin, reflecting our own more balanced nature, a blend of reason and emotion, science and compassion. A moment of reflection is offered next. It's a commentary that resonates beyond the science fiction genre. We, too, struggle with the same fundamental questions: what justifies our choices and the morality that we assign to them. In a world where binary answers are often reduced to nothing more than destructive impulses, we find, in the morally ambiguous Doctor Who universe, more complex shades of gray, evasions of easily resolved conflicts, and the exploration of doubt. The next thoughts follow as the show host continues their analysis. Take the example of Missy, an incarnation of the Master where allegiances are subject to scrutiny. But what happens when a villain has her grip shaken with its own identity only to discover a tragic underlying past? Or the Doctor himself, grappled with an increasingly evident internal imbalance as a conscience often divided within the heart of the Time Lord. For a time, the discussion unfolds with emphasis on actions and motivations. All baddies in Doctor Who, at their roots, share a certain paradox. Each of them pursues goals whose necessity seems ever vague, which can often look, over time, a destructive passion without reason, or a balance that's broken at one point or another by all possible sense and control. There can never be only pure chaos at stake, otherwise what was initially moral was compromised, when choice by them weighed an easier shortcut as something all or nothing instead. After further introspection, the topic expands in context with larger narrative influences and mythos at large in science fiction, for consideration on different universes at a general view. To the role of character the entire topic could likely carry in the overall series of entertainment of the Doctor Who as a concept and common theme to convey through creation. Final message offered in reflection as a reminder on connections between characters with relationships all being potentially interconnected. When we look at the seemingly contradictory world of the baddies in Doctor Who, we see that they stand as a testament to our own nature, ever capable of change and doubt, capable of growth but also entrenched in unmovable depths of greed, despair, or hatred, depending on the viewpoint, in pursuit of an overwhelming decision whenever asked. They remind us, essentially, that all characters in the shows of time really exist beyond simple antagonistic archetypes. Closing music begins to play as the podcast winds down.